Hi everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I want to talk to you guys about anxiety because I'm feeling a little anxious right now. So I have been experiencing anxiety for a very long time now. I think I was a very anxious child growing up. I was a very anxious teenager. I tend to dissociate very quickly when I was younger, not right now. And I think even when I was in college with my friendships, with my romantic relationships, I've always kind of had an anxious attachment style going on. Separation anxiety, you know, and all of that. So I have experienced all those things, and right now I am feeling a little anxious. So I thought that maybe I can talk to you guys about my journey with managing anxiety. Um, so the first thing that I start noticing when I start feeling anxious is I try to understand what is triggering me right now. Why am I anxious? What am I afraid of right now? What is going to happen according to my brain? What bad is going to happen according to my brain? So, for example, right now I'm anxious, a little anxious because I tried recording a video once before this and it did not get saved. The video showed as corrupt. So, I spoke for about like a good 15-16 minutes and then to realize that it did not get saved. I have to do it all over again. And honestly, after speaking for 15-16 minutes, you feel kind of tired. So that's one thing. And I'm also late because of that, because I had to go meet a friend. I have to go meet a friend for dinner later today, and I have to start getting ready. I have to start packing my stuff because I'm sleeping over at her place. So, because of that one delay, I have gotten the anxiety that I'm gonna be super late to meet my friend also. And I think another reason I was a little anxious because there was a lot of background noise. Right now, there's not a lot of background noise, but there was a lot of background noise just a few minutes back when I was trying to record. So I actually hit record and stopped at least 5 to 6 times before this. I almost gave up. I was like, it's not worth it. Because it started taking a toll on me. But then I thought, okay, let's just give it like one last shot and just talk whatever comes to mind. And I think that's what I'm trying to do here. So once I tried to understand my triggers, I try to bring my awareness to what I am feeling in my body. Because the triggers I feel are a more emotional side of things which you can't see. You're just thinking about this, or you're just thinking that, oh, my video didn't record, I have to record again. I'm tired, I have to meet my friend, I'm gonna be late, I will forget something, I won't pack everything properly, there's a lot of background noise, how will my video turn up, will the viewers be able to listen, hear anything? So all of these thoughts are something that's running in your mind which makes you anxious. But then something else also happens is your body also starts feeling anxious. So for me personally, like while this whole thing was happening in the last half an hour, I could hear my heart go dug 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 in my chest. In extreme panic attack, anxiety attack cases, I do have palpitations, but not right now. This is not a panic attack that I'm having. This is just I'm feeling a little anxious. So yeah, I start feeling a very sort of heaviness and discomfort in my chest to the point where I can feel my heart beat very prominently. And I think another very prevalent sign of anxiety in my body is my stomach. My stomach starts getting upset. So I'll either start feeling bloated, or I'll start having like my stomach will start grumbling, or I'll start feeling gassy, or some sort of discomfort in my stomach, in my bowels, and that is one thing. And I think another thing that I've noticed for me when I get anxious is I start getting shoulder pains. Like this area starts getting very stiff and tense, and I have to like literally move my back a little, move, like, relax my back actively to bring it back to feeling normal. So these are some of the things that happens in emotionally and physically for me when I'm anxious. And another thing that I've noticed in my behavior also is that you might have noticed that I'm talking either very fast or I'm slurring my words, like I'm not able to talk as um, clearly as possible. I won't be able to focus, like I'll lose my train of thoughts. And I think a behavioral pattern that I've worked on through therapy is binge eating. So I think because of the discomfort in my stomach and just because of my past patterns, I used to resort to like munching on whatever's in front of me. So whenever I'm anxious, whenever I'm stressed about something, I'll just go eat something, and then I'll feel way more shitty after that. I mean, binge eating is never a healthy cycle emotionally or physically for your body. So these are the three like emotional, physical, and behavioral things that I have noticed in my life when I'm triggered. And through the years, I think through studying about it, going to therapy, talking to my friends, and also a lot of reflective work. You have to reflect about your own life, your own triggers, your own patterns, your own behaviors. I think that's the best way to make sense of what is healthy, what is not healthy, what is an adaptive coping mechanism, what is not adaptive. So I have noticed that a lot of the things that I was doing was not healthy in managing my anxiety. So through the years now I have pinpointed those things. For example, binge eating, it's not very healthy, right? Similar things. So I've noticed these patterns through all these different approaches, and I've realized that I need to deal with it in a good manner. So one thing that I do for my thoughts, like, because there's thoughts, physical body, and your behaviors, right? So the way I deal with my thoughts is I just journal. I journal. If I'm not journaling, I'll text a friend or I'll call a friend and I'll just tell. Basically, the idea is to take out all the thoughts from your mind and just pour it out somewhere. Whether it's on a book, whether it's texting your friend, whether it's calling your friend, whatever it is, I think you need to get all of those things out of your system. The second thing I do for my body is that I will take long, deep breaths. I'll bring my awareness to my chest because that's where I feel the heaviness and the tightness. I'll focus on my stomach and my belly because that's where the discomfort is. And maybe, like I said, my back and shoulders, I will roll my back, roll my shoulders while taking deep breaths. And one exercise that I like to do is wherever I feel this tension, this stiffness, or this heaviness, or the discomfort, I try to breathe into those parts of my body, like as if it's oxygen that's going to that part of the body. Hold it for a few seconds, it's collecting, and visualize that it's collecting all the discomfort, all the tension, all the stiffness, and exhale it through my mouth and visualize that all the tension and all the stiffness and all the discomfort is going out as carbon dioxide as the exhale. So this I repeat like 5 to 10 times, and or even more if I'm feeling too anxious, and that helps me a lot physically to ground myself back into my body and just, I think, circulate, because the long deep breaths, what it also does is it circulates oxygen into your system, right? So that's important. Another thing I'll try to do is, like, I have my doors and windows open in front of me right now, but if I'm in the bed or something and I'm feeling too jittery, I will just get out of the bed and maybe take a walk around the house itself, or go to the balcony and stand, or take a walk outside. So I think moving your body a little bit also helps to physically come back to your body when you're feeling anxious. And behavioral, I think it took the longest time because my behavioral patterns were like binge eating, sleeping a lot, Uh, I mean, I don't want to admit this here, but like drinking or smoking or whatever. So these are the things that I noticed that in the short term it's giving me okay, it's making me feel good, but actually after that I'm feeling way more shittier about things, and I should stop it. So obviously, bit by bit, very gradually, I stopped these patterns, and I can say that to 95% of the time now I don't resort to these unhealthy patterns. So what I started doing initially was it's difficult to stop binge eating. Honestly, it's very difficult. But you just have to remind yourself. Again, it's a very difficult process, but you have to practice it every single day. And even on days where you're failing, you still have to persist and move forward. It's okay if you're messing up a few times. It's fine. Just pick yourself up and start again. So of course I would try to keep like healthy alternatives, fruits, veggies, dry fruits, nuts, dark chocolate, things like that. Get rid of all the unhealthy stuff at home, whether it's chips or sodas or the very sugary sweets and whatever. Like just get rid of it and replace it with like healthy snacks. That's one thing I started doing. And another thing I started doing was just give myself 10 minutes whenever I feel like I have these cravings for whatever, for food, alcohol, nicotine, whatever. When I have these intense cravings, I just tell myself, okay, we'll wait 10 minutes. If I still want to do it after 10 minutes, I'll think about it. But I just keep delaying it by 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And actually, after a few, like after 10, 15 minutes, your body forgets it. You'll also forget it. So that is one thing that I had started doing, which helped me come back. And I think just a few other lifestyle changes, like hitting the gym as much as I can. So I've noticed that the more I hit the gym, the less I feel like indulging in junk food or alcohol or cigarettes or whatever it is. So yeah, these were the few things that I noticed about my anxiety, whether it's the triggers, whether it's the sensations, emotional, physical, behavioral patterns, and how I have dealt with these things over the past few years. But the thing about anxiety is for everyone, like it might look different for different people, right? There are also people who starts shaking their hands or legs, who starts sweating, who like have thoughts, like different kinds of thoughts, not similar to mine. So I feel like anxiety, even though it's a general sort of an experience, it still can differ from person to person. So my suggestion would be to not self-diagnose. Please don't self-diagnose yourself with any of these mental health concerns. If you feel like you are experiencing anxiety, talk to a professional. That's what I did. Like for the longest time I knew I was a little jittery and on the anxious side of things, but when I spoke to a therapist, I actually got clarity on so many things, whether it's anxiety, whether it's my triggers, how to deal with my triggers. So I think that way it's very personal, right? So and I think you deal with your anxiety based on what your triggers are and how it's manifesting in your mind and your body and your behavior. So that way again it's quite personal. So take what resonates, take what resonates with you in this video. But if you feel like, oh, anxiety looks a little different for me and I think a little differently, but I still feel like it's anxiety, yes, it could be. So it's better if you speak to a professional. Or I don't suggest self-diagnosis ever. I don't suggest reading up on Google about it. Sure, have the information, but always double check the information from a trustable source or a professional or a legitimate person, right? So, yeah, with that, I think I'm done with today's video. And see, like, just talking about it and focusing on these things have made me feel a little calm now. Also, calm because the video is ending and I can go do like the other things that I had to do. But anyway, guys, I will see you guys in my next one. I hope this video was helpful and take care. Bye bye.